college classic. Did you say college classic? I'll show you that we're reading Kenneth Copeland's. Well, I made a promise to myself that I would never leave Gloria out, so I don't. It's Gloria and Kenneth Copeland. Walking in honesty, truth, and integrity. Honor. Walking in honor. Lord Jesus Christ, God Almighty, Father, we lift up the Copeland Ministries, Father, Kenneth and Gloria, Father, all their family, all their immediate family. And we ask you, Lord God Almighty, we ask and we pray, even upon our knees by the Spirit, as we say, thank you. Bless them, Father, from head to toe, in and out. Amen. An honorable man. This is going to be two parts. As a young man, I understood honor because my father raised me that way. I understood it because both my grandparents were honorable men. They would rather die than lie, and my grandmothers were honorable women. I understand what the psalmist means when he writes about the kind of honor that swore to his own heart.
Go for a while, I'll be back.
And changeth not. Psalm 15:4. I understand and respect the kind of person who is going to do the right thing regardless of what it may cost. My dad lived this way in front of me. He tithed from the day he and my mother were married in 1927. On their wedding day, they made a commitment to do one another and to God that they would tithe every dollar God gave them all the days of their married life. God honored that commitment and supported them through the years. They did not understand many things he tried to teach them because they knew very little about faith. However, the Lord took care of them anyway. During the Great Depression, he had never went 24 hours without a job. Mother and Dad lived on an old dry land farm in northwest Texas. The only things in abundance there were sand and flies, and yet my daddy had a job because God took care of him. Took care of them. Eventually, a fellow hired Dad to work in the insurance business, and Dad was very successful at it. So just a few weeks after he went with the company, he was moved to Fort Worth as district manager. The man who hired Dad had been planning for a long time to start his own company. He was building up reserves while still working for the company that hired my dad. But this company had laws, rules, and regulations against the sort of things this man was doing, and some of it was even against the laws of the state of Texas. This man finally announced he was starting his own company. He had the money and backing to do it, but he needed my father to make it work. He offered Dad a lot of money and a big chunk of the company. He wanted Dad to do for him and the new company exactly what he had been doing under him with the other company. This man based a great deal of his planning on Dad's acceptance of his offer. It came down to a lawsuit between Dad's company and this man. It came down to a lawsuit between Dad's company and this man. If they could prove he had done some things wrong, it would cut off over $100,000 from his new company's financing. That was around 1956, when $100,000 was a great deal of money. This man was depending on that money to help establish his new insurance business. At the trial, my dad was the deciding witness. If the lawyer asked him, "Has this man ever approached you to work for him doing the same job you're doing for your present employers?" And Dad answered no. The case would be closed. The man would get $100,000 financing, and my father would get a huge chunk of stock and lots of money, along with a high position and much prestige. If Dad testified that the man had offered him a job with a new company he was planning to start, the man would lose the $100,000 and Dad would get the privilege of keeping his old job. I was about 19 years old at the time. I was thinking, whew, what's Dad going to do? If he takes the stand and answers that question one way, he's an instant multi-millionaire. The money was already in the till and the stock was already made out. If he answers the other way, well, I guess it's his old job. Wondering what Dad was going to do, I watched as he took the stand. He wasn't a bit nervous or anxious. He didn't have any sweat breaking out on his brow. I couldn't believe he could be so calm. The lawyer asked the question, did this man offer you a job with his new company doing the same thing that you were doing now? Without a second's hesitation, Dan answered, yes, he did. And when it was over, he stood up and walked away. He left all the money lying on the table and all the stock untouched. Later I said, boy, Dad, how did you keep from saying what that man wanted you to say? It would have been a lie. It would have been a lie. It was as simple as that. To get that money, that stock, that position, Dad would have to lie. There was never any question in his mind. He just went right on with his business. He gave no more thought to the matter, and every time he would see the man he had testified against, he would walk up, shake his hand, and ask how the new company was coming along. And that man had such respect for my dad. He loved my dad all his life. My father is over 80 years old now. His word is still yea or nay. And one of the reasons he is so quick to tell the truth is because it is the honorable thing to do. He learned early in life the meaning of honor. I think that one speaks for itself.